Hello. Hello. Let's put the light on so everyone can see me. Let's switch. Hi, everyone. So, thanks so much for turning up on an impromptu stream. But we do have a response finally from Microsoft. First of all, I hope you're all having a nice Saturday. Mine has been a bit weird and up and down, but yeah, Sarah Bond will be coming out to disclose more information in depth, but from what we now know, basically we don't matter is the general course of it. So as this goes, according to ZeniMax employee Sarah Bond, Xbox director, the new Xbox director, so Phil really doesn't have anything to do with it anymore, will be speaking to us in spring to explain the change in Xbox strategy regarding Hi-Fi Rush, Sea of Thieves, and this is the key part here, folks, other games going multi-platform. How's everyone doing tonight? Because this is probably going to be a difficult one for some of us to accept, but there is a bit of information. You know, this is quite a thing. So we have to wait until spring. So they basically came out and said, yeah, we're aware of the discourse. We're aware that, you know, everyone's upset with what they're hearing. We're pretty much going to come out and talk about Hi-Fi Rush and Sea of Thieves and other games going multi-platform, but we're going to do that in spring. We're not ready to do that right now. You guys can continue living in limbo for a little while longer. I think more people play the game. Makes me happy, like PC. Look, us men, that is fine, but at the end of the day, it kind of needs to go both ways. The reality is, if that's the way they're going to go, just nuke Xbox entirely, make everything go to PlayStation. People can save money on not buying two consoles, and happy days, right? Happy days. PlayStation will have a monopoly. They can start charging people £250 a game, and everyone will be happy. That is the future that this is leading to. Xcrack, you're right. No company cares about us. Only reason corporations exist is to use your money. Xcrack, I've said that all along. You can ask anyone in chat. I've always said that the only thing these companies respect is your wallet. Right? The only thing that they respect is your wallet. And that clip I played yesterday, that, you know, when it was a comedic clip where the guy's wallet basically got sucked out by the PC and was charging it for the microtransactions. That's pretty much it, right? All they care about is thing. A summary of what the employee said. Everything is metrics driven. So if there isn't sales, they're going to look elsewhere. So Game Pass for them isn't enough. They want to see sales of the games as well. So it looks like for those games where the metrics aren't good, they're going to be pushing them out to other platforms. The internet discourse, you know, our opinions, our thoughts, the videos we make, the conversations we have, none of it is considered, but they are valid concerns. They accept that they're valid concerns. They know that these concerns that we're having are actual real concerns. They take that on board, but they don't care. None of it is considered. Obviously, because at the end of the day, money is what drives things. Hey, Power Boss, how's it going? All Microsoft's doing is giving you every reason to not own an Xbox. Pretty much. Right now, with this, what I'm going through, it's making a very strong case for that. Then it's going to every freaking game at that point. We're going to get to that, Arthur. We're going to get to that. Start unsubscribing. Hey, don't unsubscribe from me. I've done nothing wrong. I'm just a messenger. Peace. I'd like to know what the basis of this tweet is. So basically, someone at ZeniMax who knows basically what's going on has come out and spoken about it. Now, there's a lot of things here that is pretty on point. I've been hearing rumblings as well myself, and some of the stuff here is matching what I've been hearing from other community managers in the industry who, you know, at the end of the day, if you're in the industry, you talk. You know, I've got friends at, you know, Sega, I've got friends in other mobile companies, and, you know, I've got friends in other parts of the industry. They tell me stuff that I don't ever talk about because they tell me that stuff in strict confidence. So, but some of the stuff I'm hearing here is matching what I'm hearing, and that is why there is a lot of credibility here, because the people that I know wouldn't lie to me. They wouldn't make that stuff up, especially when they don't even work for the company. But you know how it goes, right? You know someone who knows someone there. The industry is small. It may look vast, but people move around quite often and people talk. But you've got people who will break NDA, like you're seeing all the time with the, you know, the leaks. And then you've got people like me who just shut the fuck up and don't talk about it because I respect their privacy and I respect the fact that they're telling me this in, you know, in sheer confidence. So I don't talk about it. I don't, you know, so, you know, that's the way I've always been. So I know what you meant, Francisco. I was just pissing about. Dude, I have already unsubbed from Game Pass. I mean, Game Pass is still a good service. If you've got it on PC, it's still a great service. I don't see the reason to unsub from Game Pass. I mean, even if Xbox disappeared today, I would still be subscribed to Game Pass just to get the games for free on PC. Well, not free, but quote-unquote free. You know, if they're releasing four AAA games this year, you're technically only paying for 2. And like I said, I don't care for ownership. I just don't care. That doesn't bother me. I just cancelled my Xbox sub. I buy most of my games anyway. Going to start using Steam more and dust off the old PS5. Being mainly green since OG Xbox, so it's a kick in the arsenal being second class. If you've seen my video that I released today with Jez Corden and Randall in their podcast Xbox 2, someone clipped a part of it, so I decided to, you know, make a video on that. A lot of that is leading from this. So if you haven't seen that video, definitely go check it out. Apparently, me calling out IGN makes me a shill, but whatever. People are entitled to what they want. Hey, Chris, how's it going? But as you can see here, reconsidered discourse, if looked at from a different angle, there is missing information that you may not see. So apparently there's stuff that we're not taking into consideration. They can understand the discourse. Now, what I'm guessing that this means here is that, hey, look, you know, Hi-Fi Rush was released day 1. And everyone that was playing it, happy days, good on you, but the game sold maybe 20,000 copies. And that's not enough for Microsoft. So this whole notion of no one buying games, you know, there might be more truth to that than the meme itself. And that's obviously going to have an effect. I mean, I'm just speculating here. This part here is pure speculation. Right? Okay, some of you guys are being dramatic. Why leave Xbox? I don't see a reason to leave anytime soon yet. Not until spring. Even at spring, at the end of the day, if you are a Game Pass subscriber, you're still getting your games day and date going to PC and Xbox. So, you know, it is what it is. I personally will not be, you know, selling my Xbox. I'm not going to be unsubscribing personally because I still get value from Game Pass. And honestly, I don't see the point in buying digital games unless they come off the Xbox Game Pass system. Then sure, then I'll buy it. But if it's on there, I just don't see the reason to. Allusions to a very concise explanation by Xbox about the situation. So Xbox is going to, in spring, come out and describe and talk about everything that's going on. They're going to be, you know, give a clear and concise explanation as to why there has been a shift in strategy, a shift in I mean, for all we know, it could be legal reasons, right? There could be legal implications that are currently being imposed within the FTC case. I'm not even following that at the moment, because there's really no one actually following, reporting on it, and it's not being held live either, so there's no information that's coming from it for me to be able to follow. So maybe this is deriving from implications from there, or it could just be a shareholder thing where they want more of a return on their investment. At the end of the day, shareholders are pumping money into the company, and those shareholders want a return. And if that return means that they have to push, if they're not getting that return through the Xbox console, then they have to seek elsewhere. I'm just looking elsewhere. Who's an XCUG? See, Biggie Butters, that is the whole that's the big issue. That's the whole issue, Biggie Butters. He came out and made that statement, and that's just not good enough. And at the end of the day, that needs to he needs to address that. Donovan, so nobody is buying games, so you're willing to kill the entire Xbox division and console? That's stupid. So they scam gamers out of $500. They're not scamming you out of anything. At the end of the day, you've bought your console, you've got your Game Pass, you are getting your games day and date on the platform. If they go to Steam, which they are, which was, I've always said that when games went to Steam day and date, that was the beginning of a domino effect. The rest would come, because Steam is not Game Pass. Now, people were arguing with me, saying that PC is a platform, and PC, whether you've got the launcher for the, Xbox Game Pass or Steam, it's the same thing. It is not. It is not, because if you purchase a game through the Microsoft launcher, Microsoft is getting 100% of that money. You purchase it through Steam, Microsoft is only getting 70% of that money. Steam takes the other 30%. There's no deal there where Microsoft takes everything. Now, in a situation like GeForce Now on the cloud, you have to buy your own game. Now, you can go through that, through Game Pass, or you can buy it off Steam, where Microsoft still loses 30%. So, I'm just spitballing. Regarding what? You do understand, Holgrain, there are shareholders that, are in the games industry. Shareholders are the reason why Anthem 2.0 died, for example. When the shareholders were asked about Anthem 2.0 and if they wanted to continue that or work on the next Dragon Age, they chose to cancel Anthem 2.0. So, just saying. A secondary speaker mentions to other people who were concerned previously are now saying we shouldn't be as concerned as we are. So this is the one that is at least a little thing. But in my opinion, all they're trying to say here is what I just said a moment ago. If you've got your console, if you've got your Game Pass, you are still going to be looked after. You're still going to get your day and date. You're still going to get all your games on Game Pass, and everyone else is going to be paying $70 for them, where you get them as part of your subscription service. I'm still not understanding the problems here are. Hey, Malcolm, how's it going? Exclusives sell consoles. So this is the overall arching issue, right? Xbox's console sales have been diminishing over a while. Now, for those people that are buying an Xbox console, this is a problem. Because eventually, if their market share gets too small, the first thing that's going to happen before Microsoft decides to exit the console scene is third-party publishers are going to start skipping Xbox. This means that people that are buying an Xbox console to game are going to get a diminished return. they are not going to get the full experience of that console. They're only going to get first-party support, and if they want third-party support guaranteed, they're going to go and have to buy a PlayStation 5 console. Secondly, if those games are now coming to other platforms, say a year down the line, then people are more than willing to wait a year to get it. So they're going to lose even more of a market share, which has a knock-on effect to third-party support. Now, if Microsoft decides that they're going to leave the industry, and this isn't spitballing, this is pretty much how it works when you give someone too much power. Just look at Apple, for example. Look at Microsoft as a corporation. Look at any giant corporation. Look at the way Sony was dictating everything with the PS3 charging £600-700 for it. If you give them too much power, they already want to increase those game prices from £70 to £100. If Microsoft is no longer there as a form of competition, no matter how small that competition is, it's still there with Game Pass as that competitor. If you remove that, what's stopping Sony by saying, right, PlayStation Premium is, or PlayStation Essentials is £60 right now, right? I think it is, something like that. It's going to be £100 now. Games are going from £70 to £110. And if you don't like it, you don't really have a choice anymore. You can go PC if you like, but you're not going to get any of these exclusives. You see how that works? And at that point, Sony will then go to Microsoft, get some exclusives that won't go to PC, and then you'll have pretty much PlayStation dictating the whole thing. So it's not just an Xbox problem. This is a bigger problem overall. So it's going to be very interesting how this is catered to go. They did during the PS3 era, right? People were buying the console. I think it was like $600 in the US, right? I actually imported mine because I didn't want to spend $600 over here in the UK. So I actually imported one. And back then, the British pound was so strong. I think it was like a 2-to-1. So for every £1, it was like $2 at the time. So I actually got it for a really good... It was actually more, I think. Because I think I got it for like £230 in total in the end. It's a good deal. But yeah, my first PS3 was an imported US one. The old backwards compatible one. The kind of spaceship one. They said the big three platform holders have the liberty of paving the road and laying the brick at the same time. Now, the big three platform holders, I assume here they're talking about Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo. A lot of conversations around this kind of stuff it's ongoing, and every discussed has been covered or has a clause around it. So let's see what chat's saying. PC, here I come. I mean, he'll just look at the X post right in our faces. What's wrong, Twisted? But basically right now, from what I'm seeing, like Duncan is saying, you know, like others are saying here, I get it. PC does seem to be the safest bet right now if you want a game on Xbox. At least you know that, you know, it's a multifaceted console. It's going to get PlayStation games as well at some point. It'll never get Nintendo games at least, but Nintendo's very tight with their gaming. But it looks like Sony is still trying to test the waters with PC, trying to get that right. So I think they're at least maybe 3-4 years out in going day and date with PC. But this was something that I said a long while ago. The moment they went day and date with Steam, that I think was the turning point. That to me was where everything basically took a turn. Because they've got their own launcher and they could have stuck by that and said, look, it's available on PC. If they want to play this, then they just have to either buy it from the Xbox store or go Game Pass. And that wasn't the way they went. They actually went with the option to go Steam because they knew, well, I think it goes without saying, PC gamers, if it's not on Steam, they won't buy it. Right? If it's not on Steam, you won't buy it. I think my biggest issue with this statement right now is the fact that they think that they have till springtime. I think that's the biggest issue. Has this been 100% confirmed? Where did this employee say this? This is a ZeniMax employee. But like I said at the very beginning, I've heard similar things to this. I just couldn't say anything because I don't want to get people into trouble. I'm not like these other idiots on, Twitter, where they decide that the moment they hear something, they have to run straight to X and post it on there like their life depends on it. If someone tells me something in confidence, I just keep it to myself. I don't talk about it to anyone. And I've heard some of this stuff because I've worked in the industry. And once you work in the industry, you create friends and people move around. People talk. Even if it's just in private chats, people talk. But it looks like anime. Yeah, it looks like Sony is wiping the floor. But let's see what they're going to come up with. I mean, the news that was released earlier, I wouldn't pay no credence to. Eurogamer came out and said Microsoft might be, delaying their console because they've only just signed a contract with AMD, and that could push their release date back. I wouldn't pay any credence to that. That's just rubbish. That's just fear-mongering. I do think that they are going to release another console. I do also think that next console is going to be digital only. All right, let's see what people are saying. Starfield has been one of the best-selling games of 2023, Powerworld over 12 million, and they were both on Game Pass. Yeah, I mean, it's done phenomenally well on Steam and on Xbox. I got an Xbox Series X a year, maybe even a year and a half ago. I'm just hoping they'll allow you to buy Meteor or indie games from Microsoft Store long after making games for Series X. Driftwood, I think they will. I mean, I don't see that ever being an issue. And I think, the way I've been seeing Microsoft positioning this is this. The Series S is your entry-level PC. They're going to release a cloud box for xCloud only. That's going to be cheaper. I've actually heard that they're this is just a rumor, by the way, but the cloud box itself will come out at, I think, £50 plus 3 months Game Pass. And then if you actually buy a full year subscription to Xbox Game Pass Ultimate to get xCloud, you get the console for free. So that's what I've heard in regarding to the xCloud console package. The Series X is their kind of medium intermediary PC, the one that runs at medium to low spec, but I mean, they're going to call it mid. But if you want like the true high-end gaming experience, you're always going to go PC. If you want to be running those 60 FPSs, 120 FPSs on Ultra, you are going to go PC. That's the way I see it. I've always seen it this way. I've always said it this way. But it's just, the fact that they said that Xbox's strategy regarding Hi-Fi Rush, Sea of Thieves, and other games going multi-platform. I think that's the point. I was talking about this a few streams ago when I said that, what's stopping them if Hi-Fi Rush sells 15 million units day one on PlayStation from them releasing other games on there, AAA games? Because at the end of the day, all these corporations care for is money. They don't care about anything else. They just care about the money inside your wallet. And if they're making 15 million sales day one, I mean, I gave a hypothetical stupid number, yes. But I was just looking at the most, extreme scenario. If they go down that route, then as a company, would you not add some of your bigger sellers onto your competing platforms? Just think about it. My volume is low? Really? I'm peaking at yellow just below red. Jonathan, no, but it does have other knock-on effects that can affect those that are on those that are an Xbox console gamer to actually have adverse effects that will potentially cause problems down the line, like them missing out on third-party games. Can't hear in the mail truck. Ah, I see. Make the sequel exclusive maybe to drive sales. That's not going to work, because what I think it was Colin that said it today. I think it was Colin today that made someone clipped Colin when he said, from this day forward, if a game gets announced on Xbox, I will just wait until it comes to PS5. Because that will be the expectation set. And if they start porting games from ZeniMax over to PlayStation and Switch, this will basically go back on the word that Phil made. Phil said that any game that is coming, he made a promise that any ZeniMax game that is going on another platform will only go where Xbox Game Pass exists. Game Pass will not exist on PlayStation. It will not exist on the Switch. Therefore, he will have, this will, for me, will have been his first true major lie. At that point, anything he says going forward, I won't believe. It's really that simple. I personally won't believe it. Others will not believe it, because if you are going to lie on that egregious level, you don't make that sort of a promise. It's really that simple. You do not make that sort of a promise. That's a dumb promise to make. But he made that promise, right? He made that promise. Is Hi-Fi Rush a ZeniMax game? Yes, it is. He made that promise. And if he makes that promise, I expect him to stick to it. The moment he breaks that, how can you trust someone who promises you something, you buy and you invest based on his promises? Because there would have been people that did that based on his promises. And then he turns around and changes the rules because it now suits him or suits the company, or, it's being driven by other metrics. Maybe this whole Activision Blizzard deal is the thing that instigated these sales. Who knows? All we know is that through Microsoft has done 49%. Their sales are up 49%, software sales for the gaming division, which is great. But if you remove the Activision Blizzard side of it, it was only up by 6%. So 43% of that came from Activision Blizzard. ZeniMax and Microsoft Game Studios equated to 6%. 43% came from ABK. At least we finally getting Starfield. Lost. I don't defend any corporation. I'm a consumer. Exactly. You don't want to do that. That is literally the last thing you want to do. You do not want to do that. Let's just see what's going on. I might have missed some stuff, and I didn't want to miss some stuff. Let me use this. See if there's anything that anyone actually tagged me on. Phil Spencer lied to us. So the box is worthless. They killed the brand as soon as day and date announced. Anime, this is what I was saying in the previous stream with Power Boss. That was, that was the situation that was there. I said the moment they went day and date with PC was the day that they think. And if we're looking at some of the comments now, if they're going to do this, then they should just put everything on the PlayStation and Switch. I mean, this is the defeated attitude that you're going to start seeing. I think Peter has been a little dramatic. This only serves to undermine the Xbox platform, which I agree with, and create never-ending debates about which games are exclusive. Now, my question to you all is Blade exclusive? Can anyone in the chat right now turn around and tell me that Blade is exclusive to the Xbox ecosystem? Serious question. I'm not just trying to stir trouble. I'm not trying to, cause annoyance. But can anyone in here right now turn around and tell me that Blade is an Xbox ecosystem exclusive? I was just taking care of business. Nothing to see here. Microsoft is a software company first and foremost. They are, Rando. They are. That is true. Judging from that tweet, looks like most of the games will be third party. I mean, there's two ways of taking this, right? They could look at this and say, right, any game that's a tentpole game, which is regarded as AAA, Halo, Gears of War, Starfield, Hellblade is actually AA, right? But I guess you could push that to a AAA if you really stretch the term. But, you know, Indiana Jones is AAA, maybe. But if we're looking at AAA, I would say Gears of War, Halo are definitely AAA studios. They would remain on the Xbox console indefinitely as exclusive. But then when we start talking about like smaller titles like Hi-Fi Rush, Sea of Thieves, that aren't as expansive, Starfield would also potentially remain as a exclusive. So it really depends on how far they're willing to take that. But my original point from yesterday still stands. The reality is, if Hi-Fi Rush sold 15 million copies day one and smashed all records on PlayStation, if they all banded together and bought it, you can guarantee yourself there's going to be another game of that caliber or higher that's going to be released on there to just make sure it's not a one-time fluke. If that sells 15, 20 million copies day one as well, then you can bet your bottom dollar that they're going to start releasing all of the tentpole titles over there, because now they've got the Game Pass money and they've got the PlayStation money. They're swimming. They're happy days. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, Forza is another one. But do you see where I'm coming from? Like this slippery slope started the moment they went to Steam. Xbox's motto has always been, when everyone plays, we all win. And I guess what they meant was, we're going to place everything everywhere. Literally. But, you know, spring, I really don't think that they have enough time to wait till spring. I really think that they need to come out and have this conversation sooner. But this information is not good, and it is going to cause so much discourse. They thought the TV stuff went over poorly. Wait until this. Like, this is going to be a clusterstorm. This will probably be the biggest moment for Xbox, a make or break moment. The pressure must be tough for Bond, but I know she got this. I think Karim is wrong. I think if they wait until spring, when she enters the room to have a discussion, there's going to be no one there without any chairs or furniture or nothing. It's just going to be an empty room waiting for her to close the lights, turn the power off, and walk out. Phil Spencer, both the savior and... I mean, Phil Spencer isn't here anymore, it looks like, right? It looks like Sarah's in charge. This is absolutely going to hurt them. This is absolutely going to hurt them. If they're going this route, maybe they should at least give 2 years exclusive before the games go on other platforms. Maybe that's what they're going to do, Drift. But I still think they're going to lose a lot more people buying their console. Like, I've bought games day one, and they are still in their shrink wrapping. Because lately, for the past couple of years, my gaming time has been reduced. Just made to my job, YouTube, and whatnot. Because this is like a second job. And then I've got 4 kids. I've got a wife. I've got a life outside of gaming as well that I try to, balance as well. So my gaming generally happens a couple of hours in the evenings as much as I can. Some weekends I get to splurge a little more. But there's so many games that I've bought that are still in their shrink wrapping. Now, I've actually stopped buying games day one mostly because if I know I'm not going to play it there and then, I just don't play it. Like Final Fantasy VII's DLC, the Yuffie DLC, I bought that day one. It's a 4-hour DLC, and I still haven't gotten around to playing it. It's been on sale twice. I could have bought it now, and it would have been okay. I could have saved some money. And it's the same on like some Xbox games where I've bought them digitally, and I still haven't got around to playing them. I guarantee they are going to lose a ton of Xbox gamers with this move. This is a big move. They need to really... I don't think they should wait until spring. I look forward to Xbox being the only platform to port games to. Yeah, right. Major L. It's going to be a hell of a lot more than just Sea of Thieves and Hi-Fi Rush. This is the problem, because now that's going to be the running narrative. They should look at Power World numbers and be thinking the opposite. In fact, I would be taking Minecraft and others off other platforms. I don't think you can take Minecraft off. Minecraft is way too big. Summary, money. Like a lot of you are saying, no Game Pass on console, only on PC, where most PC gamers prefer Steam over the Microsoft Store and Game Pass. You're right. But me personally, if I can play a game on PC through the Game Pass, I'll play it through Game Pass. It's not that I don't have the money, I just don't feel like wasting money. To me, that is it. I know people say, oh, I'd rather spend £70 and buy a game on Steam than get it as part of my subscription that I'm already paying for anyway. Yeah, I think that's stupid. No offense. Why would you want to spend $70? I've never understood that. But each to their own. Each to their own. I respect everyone's view. If you want to burn money, you can burn money. But if you're burning money, you know, become a member. Drop some super chats. It'll actually be you'll get more in return. It is going to be wild. Hellblade 2 is AA, so it will be on PS5 and SNES. See, this is what I was talking about. Hellblade. Hellblade is AA, so that's already a candidate to go on other platforms. I'll just meditate as free. Crunchroll. I like it. Game Pass is basically free with reward points. It's the best deal in gaming. Belzer, I think that's part of the problem, right? If they're not so look, if I don't know what portion of that 44 million people are actually getting, or 40 million Game Pass subscriptions, people are actually getting in, you know, free from rewards. But even if it's like 5%, that's 5% of sales that they are losing. Like outright, completely losing. Then you've got the people that bought Game Pass via different countries, and they've lost a lot of money there too. Then you've got people that abused the £1 trick for 3 years, 4 years. They've lost a lot of money there too. At the end of the day, people have there is a self-harm factor here. You know, just like we saw with Steam, where people were changing their region to Turkey and going and buying games from Turkey or other regions where it was dirt cheap. Now people in Turkey can't afford to buy video games, because now for them to buy a video game, it's, you know, my daughter is over there in Cyprus, Northern Cyprus, and for her to buy a game, it's the equivalent of just under half her salary for the month. So she can't afford it. But you know what they do in Turkey? Well, not Turkey, but Northern Cyprus? If you walk into the supermarket, on the left-hand side, they've got all the retail games. On the right-hand side, they've got all the pirated games in a supermarket. Yeah, they actually do that. So you can buy the game for half your salary, or buy the game over there for peanuts. And so people buy the one for peanuts. Right? That's actually a thing in Northern Cyprus. Chaos, for your information, I'm not mad at you. I just feel like this is nothing. Nothing is confirmed and no one knows 100% of the information. Like I said, from the very beginning, we are just going by this information here. But I've personally said, Wholegrain, that I've heard some of this stuff before from people that I've spoken to that work in the industry. People that I personally know on a personal level, that I've interacted with in the, that I've become friends with, I've got, acquaintances with, and I've had these discussions before over the past month, or probably 6 weeks, maybe a little longer. I just don't report on them on my videos. I don't talk about them because I don't want them getting in trouble. I am not I don't leak information. If they tell me something in confidence, It stays until someone decides to blurt it out, and then I can talk about it. I've got a little more respect to those people than some of us. Help me understand. Microsoft has loads of money. Why is this happening all of a sudden? Unless someone at Microsoft had made some moves. It's all about money, Panforius. It's all about money. Like, in my 9 to 5, I'll give you an example without giving any names. In my 9 to 5 job, I'm working on a project, right, where the client is one of the richest companies in the world, right? It's a multi-million-pound contract. They are one of the richest companies in the world. And they won't pay for anything. They've paid for the cheapest CMS. They've paid for the cheapest web development. They've wanted everything as cheap as humanly possible. They won't pay London prices for quality. They will want everything shipped over to India, outsourced to India, because they want everything at the cheapest possible price at peanut rates. Even if it works out to be completely and utterly a shit show, they don't care. That's how these companies get rich. They like to make more money and they don't like to spend money. Hey, Stream Channel. Helldivers 2, $40 is brilliant. PlayStation knows what people want. Xbox don't have a clue. Connor, I actually 100% disagree with that. Helldivers 2 should have been day and date on PlayStation Essentials, you know, the base model. It should have been on there, or at least put it on PlayStation Extras, day and date. That's where it should have come, because that game is going to live and die by its player base. You already need a subscription to run it anyway, so you're going to have it, one of the others. So even if they put it inside extras, that way anyone that's on extras or above, regardless of whether you've got an interest in the game or not, you are going to try it. My interest in Foam Stars, for example, is lukewarm. But on February the 6th, when it releases, I think it's February the 6th, I'm going to give it a try because it's part of my subscription. I'm going to give it a try. I might like it. I might not like it. But I wouldn't be buying it day one if it wasn't there. And you know what? If I like it, that means I'm probably going to invest in the microtransactions that are going to be available within that game. And Helldivers 2 isn't going to live and die by its box product. It's going to live and die by the microtransactions. If people do not spend within that microtransaction store, the game's going to die anyway. That's how it's going to work. So you want as many people jumping into that game day one as humanly possible to try and get it as populated as possible, to give people that best experience possible day one. And if they're not getting that, that's a problem. So that's my thoughts on that. And I actually think this is the same for any game of that caliber, whether it's Overwatch or anything. Any game that decides to come with that kind of structure for their game should just have that free-to-play model, because it's going to get the most people in. And, you know, when people go in, and if they're going in with their friends, they are going and they have a good time, they're going to stay, right? They are going to stay. All right, let's try and see. Where did you tag me, Streaming Channel? Oh, that's what we're discussing right now, Streaming. This is exactly what we're discussing right now. I'm willing to bet that this information is made up or not as dramatic. Whole grain, it's not made up. Unless my friends lied to me too, but I don't think that's the case. Chaos, why are they making people wait till spring? Good question. What kind of nonsense is that? You get in front of it and not hide your tail between your legs. I think they are... I think the big thing right now is this. That's why they're waiting till spring, to try and get a response. Now, this is pure speculation from me. right? But I think that Hi-Fi Rush and CM Thieves will drop in spring. No, I can. I've heard some of this quite a while ago, Chris Clemens. I've heard some of this quite a while ago, and some of the point. Well, actually, quite a few of the points here are actually real. I've had this discussion with other developers around the industry, community managers to be specific, and I just haven't spoken about it before. But now that it's out in the open, I can talk about it. That's basically it. So some of this, a lot of the points here that I'm seeing here being made are the stuff that I've been spoken to about. So far, almost 99% of what my friend has told me, or people that I know in the industry have told me, has come true. I just don't talk about it. Like I said, I don't leak anything. I don't, break people's confidence, their trust. But this stuff someone decided to splurt this out, and I decided, I could talk about it now. You'll see in spring that a lot of this is basically is going to be almost word for word true. Jay's 100% right there. They don't need Steam. They have no choice. If your game... some of this is new. Some of this is new. Other stuff was being speculated about and spoken about, like what's next and stuff. Some of this is new information. Bunty, I agree with you. It's all about money, but also it's all about trade. So I think Microsoft is going to get something on Xbox, because what's the point of trying to make more money if you might end up losing? So the way it's going to work, once this all starts to roll out, as an Xbox gamer, you will always be catered for. If you've got Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, you've got the latest Xbox console, you are going to get your games day and date. That won't change. If the game goes to when the game goes to other platforms, they are going to pay full money. Thank you for that $10 super chat. But they're going to pay the full whack. You will still get that promised service of day and date on PC and console. So if you've got like a handheld ROG, for example, you'll still be able to game wherever you're going. So, but in reality, as an Xbox gamer, the only thing that's going to change going forward is third-party support. That's going to diminish. Once they start going to other platforms, depending on the rate that they're going to be going to other platforms, third-party support will start to diminish, because that just makes sense. If you're Capcom and you're looking at a platform that has 70 million consoles compared to one that has 10 million, you're probably not going to bother with that 10 million. It's not a big enough market. It's here we are. There's no evidence to back any of this. Clemens, that's fine. Chris, that's fine. Sorry, I didn't mean to speak from your surname. You can take it as you will. I mean, I'm not going to reveal my sources. Not for anyone. I'm not putting people's jobs at risk. So if that's what you might be expecting, that won't happen in a million years. Actually, in a million years, I won't be alive, so that won't really matter. But you get the sentiment. I'm not going to sit here and reveal my sources to anyone. That's the whole reason that they're sources, friends, people that talk to me, I talk to them. We talk in confidence. We don't talk about anything publicly. So that's never going to happen. but I don't think it's as much as doom and gloom as people are saying it is. I wouldn't go that far. I still think that, you know, and I think, I mean, we are going to see another, we are going to see another Xbox. That much I know. So the next Xbox console is coming. So if the next Xbox console is coming, and there's a good chance they'll be talking about it in spring, I think that's going to set the roadmap going forward, and what they're going to do in spring will set the roadmap and the expectations going forward. The FTC had a big role to play with this. The whole ordeal and the way they had to fragment and push games out to other platforms has definitely played a role in everything going all over the place and Microsoft spreading their wings. What's the point of that box? It's quite simple, anime. There are people that do not like PC gaming. And I know that might sound weird, but there are definitely people out there who do not like PC gaming. You know, I have lots of family members who just despise PC gaming. They don't like it. They just want to put a box in front of their TV and play games. That whole stigma of a PC, it just doesn't appeal to them. So they will go and buy a console. And there's a lot of those people, you know, what we call the casuals. Now, to you and me, we're a minority. We make up maybe 5% of the gaming community, maybe 10%. And that's stretching it, by the way, at 10%. But the large majority of casuals, they don't want to go spend, you know, $2,000 on a PC to get good high performance gaming. The average gamer doesn't even care that they game at 30 FPS. They just don't. Like I said, you and me, we do. But we're in such a small minority. And that is why this internet discourse, as I've heard a few times now, coming from, you know, all over the place. I mean, I'll go as far as saying, but all that backlash that came from Yakuza, you know, with the whole New Game Plus thing, they didn't care one bit. They did not care one bit. I know this for a fact. They didn't care one bit because they knew it was going to sell. And guess what? Over 1 million units sold. So the discourse meant nothing to them. They just let it go wild, let people have their moment, and it sold over 1 million units. Now, had it not sold over 1 million units, then they would have reevaluated their situation. I'm not Reforge. It takes a lot for me to ban, but I don't like repeating myself. What's going on? Leave Borneo's fine. Casuals are still attracted by the hardcore. Players didn't play COD or PlayStation more than just because it was there. It was literal because it had the word exclusive content. Yeah. Yeah. PlayStation, like, you know, I think, wasn't it last year that Call of Duty had that exclusive mode for 1 year? So that version on its own, that mode, which wasn't very good anyway, but it was enough to go and sell more, you know, that was enough for people to decide. Hogwarts Legacy, it had that extra mission. I know it's a 1 year exclusive, but that was enough for people to decide to go to PlayStation. Destiny had weapons. Destiny 1 had legendary weapons that were, or exotic weapons, sorry, that were exclusive for 3 years. So that version of the game sold more. So exclusives matter because they can push exclusive content. Microsoft bought ABK, but they can't put exclusive content in Call of Duty for Xbox for 10 years. Because that is what they signed on the parity deal. Each version has to be the same. After 10 years, things will change. But by that point, they're hoping cloud will succeed and there's going to be no more boxes anyway. They're hoping cloud will be in a position where it's going to dominate. Who knows? That's a bit too far away for us. Hey, Cesano, how's it going? Renowned? Switch 2 is going to be interesting. It is running on NVIDIA's chipset, and I'm actually looking forward to it. Steam is also a console, right? You can actually buy a Steam console, or at least you could in the past. And I know that Valve is now working on a second Steam console to push out. Isn't that going to be interesting? Buy a Steam console and get all Xbox games on your Steam console. How's that going to impact the console market? OP exotic weapons PlayStation had then nerfed when everyone else got them. Oh yeah, Taz, I remember that. They got nerfed hardcore. As soon as everyone got them, they went downhill, man. Soul Calibur was weird, right? Because Soul Calibur had exclusive characters per version. I think the Nintendo one had Link, Xbox had Spawn, and I think PlayStation version had Heihachi. Am I right in thinking that? I mean, it's been a long time. But it just meant everyone, you know, if you had all consoles, you kind of bought all three versions because you wanted to use those characters. Link, Nintendo, Spawn, Xbox, Heihachi on PlayStation. Yeah. But I remember because I actually bought the PlayStation version of that game and the Xbox because I wanted to play as Spawn and Heihachi. So exclusives actually do matter. I would have bought the Steam console immediately. But dude, it's like I've got a Steam Deck right now. It's plugged into my dock and plugged into my TV. My wife doesn't like using my desktop PC because I use it for work and, you know, my YouTube stuff. So she doesn't want to come next to this in case she does something silly about it. But she literally uses my Steam Deck as a console. She goes to it, presses the button, the UI comes up, my Xbox controller's already hooked up to it. She scrolls through the games that's available, presses A, off she goes. Casuals not buying free consoles though. K to the goat, they will not. They will buy one. They will buy one. And this is the point I'm making about the third-party support, right? They will go to the one that provides them with the most games, the one that provides them with the most options. And if one side starts to diminish, then you're going to have a bigger problem on your hand. Did he? I can't see X-Fault's tweet. He's banned me. Love it, but don't want to shovel it. Casuals buy one console. They feel. Let me give you an example. Earlier this morning, my brother gave me a call and goes, "Man, that Hi-Fi Rush game looks really good, isn't it?" My friend was telling me about it, and I said, "Yeah, you can get it on Xbox or on the cloud, since he does a bit of cloud gaming." And he goes, "Yeah, but he was telling me it's on PlayStation." I said, "No, it's not on PlayStation. It's an Xbox game right now." And he goes, "Yeah, but he was telling me that it's coming." And I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "Then I'll just wait." My brother is as casual of a gamer as you're going to get, by the way. He maybe games about 3 hours a week, if that. The only time he really goes any further than that is when his kids are playing the Switch, and he'll sit down and play like Mario Wonders 2 players or stuff like that, where he's playing with his kids. But he plays like 3-4 hours a week max. I mean, he's literally the definition of casual. And that was his response. So this notion that putting the games on another platform will entice others to go and buy an Xbox is a whole load of bollocks. It's not going to happen. But this move is a money move. It's a quick money grab, right? Just kidding. Oh, fucking hell. Oh, God. That guy is a complete jackass. He did not wait for a split second. He did not wait for a split second. What an ass. Driftwood, yes, consoles do matter, and Sony PlayStation means it. That's why they have a very loyal fan base. 100%. 100%. You can pretty much be assured that if God of War was available day one on PC, there would have been a huge portion of those people that bought it on PlayStation that probably would have had PCs and bought it on PC instead. Because it's going to give you a better experience. I mean, at least if the port is done right? No one wants The Last of Us 1 port on PC. That just looked god-awful. Jeez, that was bad. I mean, it looked worse than a PS1 game on the Steam Deck. Yeah. Let me refresh the page because there probably would have been more. We've gone through these. This is the one I was telling you about. Hellblade is a very, very touchy one. But, you know, if they're pushing AA games only for the time being, Hellblade is up for grabs in a year or so. Summary Money, King David, PlayStation Got Games. He's not going to like that at all. No, he's not going to like that. Move. Did Hi-Fi Rush move or Sea of Thieves move consoles though? Malcolm, that's the thing. I don't think they did. I don't think they did. You know, if you're talking about games like Starfield probably did. But Hi-Fi Rush, it was a shadow drop. It probably didn't. Especially with the nature it actually came out. Now, if it gets a full-on marketing spree for PlayStation, I can see it probably shifting a few consoles there. Such a move will further cannibalize Xbox console sales, and they know it. And this is 100% going to happen because you can't deny it. The fact that they are going ahead makes me think they might be looking towards turning almost into a publishing software, keeping some hardware out there as an extra option on the market. Lots of pivots, lots of weird moves, and lots of unorthodox and strange decisions under a terribly run marketing department. Makes me have serious doubts over the future of Xbox consoles. And all this has done is just created more doubts. I mean, honestly, the question I'm going to ask you now is, do you think Sarah has till spring to come out and speak to everyone? That's a good question. Do you think she has till spring to come out and address people? Brock Hater, Twitter is going crazy. I mean, I actually wasn't going to stream today because we had a passing in my family, but I wanted to just do this, get this out there because this is big news. This is big news. Exactly, Closazo. They do. No, she doesn't? You don't think she needs to get ahead of it? Oh, she doesn't have till spring. Right. Yeah. Still remember PlayStation saying they didn't want console wars, nor console exclusive back in the day? Yeah. I mean, what made PlayStation was the third-party exclusives. If I'm understanding correctly, that's the old goal. Which one, Susano? Hey, Connor, thanks. Streaming channel, thanks, buddy. If the backlash is big enough, Xbox will backpedal. Xcoin, I don't think it will. Hey, where did his comment go? He didn't say anything wrong. Xcoin? Did that just vanish before my very eyes? I was just responding to him. I don't know what happened to that comment, dude. That was weird. That just vanished before my very eyes. But Xcoin, I don't see them backpedaling. Nope, they no longer have till spring, and it will have to be Phil, Sarah, and Matt to have a round table. I mean, where's the Activision games, right? There's also that. They promised games in January. They promised games every month starting from January that were going to drop into Game Pass. So something is clearly brewing. Man, PlayStation never said that they didn't want console wars. The OG PlayStation was made to war with Nintendo after they helped them make the PlayStation. Well, to be fair, Nintendo screwed PlayStation over, right? PlayStation wouldn't have existed if Nintendo didn't decide to go with Philips. And if people don't know that story, originally the CD drive that was being designed for the new Nintendo console was being designed by Sony. And then at the actual standoff presentation, Sony was there waiting to come onto the stage. And instead of calling out the Sony president, they called out the Philips guy and showed off their hardware and basically gave the middle finger to Sony. And so Sony said, right. They went back and said, right, we're pissed. And then they created the PlayStation. Oh, you did it? Yeah, being a liberal, I don't think you said anything there. You should be playing here. It didn't say anything bad. It just said Xbox is going to backpedal, but I think it was the whole caps thing. If ponies get to play Hi-Fi Rush, gonna make me hate my Xbox. Me throw out window? Nah, don't throw your console out the window. Let's go and trade it in. Get some money. Yeah, that's probably what it was, Xcoin, the caps. Xbox needs those type of studios. Yeah. But something has changed with their strategy. Something has changed with their thing. J-Dub. This is Giggity, isn't it? Oh, this guy. You guys mind if I ride with you to the funeral? Xbox will probably announce their multi-platform plans late next month or right before the fiscal year ends. I think it'll be just before the fiscal year. I mean, that's what they're waiting for. Guess Xbox is fully going multi-platform. Yeah, the only consoles like how there's free third-party controllers. These are pretty much going to be the official third-party consoles that can run Xbox. It's becoming a joke. Sea of Thieves 2. I mean, I was honestly, no joke. I was expecting Sea of Thieves to be at the PlayStation presentation. During my Gollum stream that the community had me play. Yes, they made me play Gollum for 3 hours, by the way. 3 hours. God have mercy. But that was one that I was told that it was going to be there, so I'm quite surprised it wasn't. And I think this is the biggest thing here, right? Internet discourse isn't considered, and it generally isn't. They're listening, you know. They'll listen, but at the end of the day, business is business. They don't run business on emotion. They run business by numbers, and they run business by profits. Francisco, you'll get more than $50, man. What is this? American jewelry? American pawn shop jewelry? I'm okay with them going all digital. I've got no problem with digital. I'm literally like 99% digital anyway. In fact, right, on Steam, I'm 100% digital. Did you know that? I don't buy any physical games. Even if I found Gollum on physical for PC, I didn't buy it. I still went digital. Mainly because I don't have a disc drive to put the disc in, so I couldn't buy it physical, even if it was cheaper. Could use Final Fantasy 16 as a case study of the problem. What problem would that be, Susanna? But I'm still hesitant on Xbox console promised exclusives, and if they're going to still have exclusives for console. Driftwood, at this point in time, I would say that I would expect the tentpole titles to remain exclusive. I've heard nothing about those going to other platforms at all. Like, they've never entered the conversation at all. It's always been the lower titles. You know, the ones that don't shift consoles, the ones that don't really shift Game Pass, the ones that don't really do anything, like, say, Grounded. Grounded is a good game. It has a lot of players, but it's not selling Game Pass. It's not selling consoles. Those are the type of games that I've been told are the ones that are being considered ported to other places. You can't buy physical games for PC mostly. I know, okay, to the guy, it was a joke. But you can get Gollum. You know that really crap game that came out last year, one of the worst games of 2023? That released in a physical form. I could not believe it. If you don't believe me, Google it. Taint your Google search engine, you'll find it. Physical. Gollum. It exists. Malcolm, what's wrong with what? Susano, 100%. That's why I was saying, like, the shareholders, the boards, they're all getting involved now. Oh, for what? Okay, I need to stop this fight. It's making me ill. Usman, I mean, it will literally be priceless, right? It won't even be worth a single cent. Game is hot garbage. Although it is better than Kong, I'll give it that. I mean, maybe they released like a patch or two next to it, but it was better than Kong at least. But I will say that that game crippled my 3090 Ti, 32 gigs of RAM, 12900 Intel's i9 CPU. It crippled my PC. I could not run that game at full speed. Driftwood knows exactly what I'm on about. Guys, don't forget Chaos will at something show us. No, I will not do anything for Kong. Yeah, it's kind of too then. Wait, wasn't that game like not playable at all? How have you managed to talk about one rumor tweet for over an hour so far? I'm out, not giving my time to clickbait and rumor. Have a good one, Chris. Take it easy. See you next time. If you will be back. But yeah, sure, let's wait 2 more months before addressing anything. That sounds awesome. I hate it when greed is driving the motivator for having individuals to do stupid things. Scarlet, it's always going to be money. Money is going to be the motivating factor always. And these companies only care about money. Now, I remember someone saying in a podcast I was watching where, they said that all these companies are the villains. None of them are heroes. They may look like heroes, but the ones that look like heroes are the even better villains, because all they care about is gaining that trust so they can squeeze more money out of you. Guys, it's fine. Just let him go. Just let him go. And if he is subscribed to my channel, he can unsubscribe as well. It's totally fine. I literally don't care. I'm not going to lose sleep over it. Right? I literally don't care. Everyone's entitled to feel the way they feel. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. I'm sorry, but by all logic, if it's about money, then why the fuck is Sony at 120 billion and Nintendo at 50 billion okay to keep exclusives, but Xbox at 600 billion needs it? K to the goat. I actually spoke about this earlier, but I'll repeat it again. So there is a company there in my 9 to 5 job. We have a client. I'm giving you a perfect example of this. They are one of the richest companies in the world. Like, they are, I'd say they're in the top 10 richest companies in the world. and they do not spend a single, they do not want to spend anything. Like, and I'm talking, it's ridiculous. They went with the cheapest, crappiest CMS. They wanted all of the work to be offshored, everything down to, they weren't willing to pay for anything. And, they expect us in London to pick up the development if the offshored companies, development studios are actually messing up. And they expect us to pick that up for free as a contract where they promise to potentially give us more work. And that's been trickling in here and there. These companies get richer by not spending, by making you do things for less and making more money. And at the end of the day, if they've got 600 billion, that just 600 billion, sorry, they want more. The rich always want more. They count to see how they can make more money, how they can get more money. And so the richer you are, the more money you want. It's just the way it is. Why does Cristiano Ronaldo care if he's got a 350 million contract a week or a 360 million? He'll go for the 360 million, even if it's for a club that he doesn't care about, right? Because he wants more money. I mean, what's he going to do with 350 million a week? People take it too personally. I don't take it personally, dude. I've taken nothing personally. I'm just here chatting away, because I knew some of this stuff already, and I wasn't able to talk about it. And now that it's actually come out, I was like, hey, I could actually talk about this shit now, finally, because someone's actually said it and it's public. But until it's public, I don't say anything. And hopefully you guys can respect that. Like, even in my streams, if you ask me something, sometimes you'll see me skirting the answer, skirting what I know, or kind of going about things in a roundabout ways, because I'm trying to, if I know about the topic and I actually have an answer that I can't disclose, I go about it in a roundabout way to not, give stuff away from people. Sad to see Microsoft killing themselves after getting themselves into a great spot in gaming. Yeah, but I think the restrictions imposed on them by the regulators was a heavy one. If Xbox stops making consoles, there is no way I will ever get it. Andrew Holt, at least you can rest assured that there is going to be another console. That much I know that there is. ABK is less than 3 months under Xbox now. Give Microsoft this year to do something with ABK. I mean, I'm not expecting, I wasn't expecting ABK to have 10 games out, but I did expect them by now, Power Boss, to at least have some of their back catalog games in Game Pass. That I am a little disappointed with. They should have had something there in their back catalog. What more secret info are you hiding? I've come to terms with it, at least with PC. I will get the best of both worlds and free online gaming. Yeah. I mean, it's fine, anime. It's fine. The older Activision games, like the Spyro games, the Crash games, the Transformers games. There's such a rich catalog there of older games on Activision that they said they would be dropping on a monthly basis. And January came and went. We were expecting them to drop it during the Developers Direct. That didn't happen. Then they said they will be dropping it by the end of the month. That didn't happen. And now we're still waiting. There's loads of old Activision games that people would love to go back to be able to play. I don't think Xbox as a brand will disappear, but eventually maybe the consoles in maybe 20 years will. Someone wanted Power to turn into Star Wars. Really? That's cool. Bro, if Alan Wake 2, Plague Tale Requiem, and games like that were exclusive, that would move consoles like crazy. Bingo. See, Jay is on it. But the problem with that, Jay, is those people that have a PC and and an Xbox, they're gonna buy it on PC. And this is why I was saying earlier, if Microsoft really wants to be serious about the console itself, they kind of need those third-party console-only exclusives. I don't know how that would work, in what world that would work. I don't even know what that would even look like. Obviously, it would be a timed exclusive before it went to PC at the very least. But the current model that they've got, where everything's available on PC, day and date, is troubling for them. I really don't know how else they can really go about it. Like if they said, hey, we've got Alan Wake 2 exclusive to Xbox console, it will be released on the Xbox console for 3 months or 6 months, and you can only play it on Xbox console. Then after 6 months, it will go to PC. And then 6 months later, it will go to everywhere else, like the PlayStation. I think that could potentially work for some games. Obviously not all games. But then you're going to have the mob over at, Valve and Steam users pretty much coming to my door as if they were Nintendo fans, trying to break my door down for even, suggesting such heresy. But that would only be the only way that they can actually push console sales. They have to give the console a USP. The console has 0 USP at the moment. The console has a 0 USP. There's no unique selling point. It has nothing. My PC is better than my console. So give me one reason why I should. I mean, I'm signing up to Game Pass anyway, so I play through Game Pass on my PC. But why would I not play on my PC and play on my Xbox? The only time I do that, play on my Xbox instead of my PC, is when my kids are on my PC doing their homework or they're just using my PC for whatever. Then I'll just switch over to my Xbox and continue playing there. It gives me that option. Or if I want to play just chilling out on the sofa, I'll load it up on my my Chromebook or my Steam Deck. What is USP? Unique selling point. Are you done deleting or reposting this tweet now? It still erodes the value of Xbox ecosystem while increasing the value of these other ecosystems. Does Xbox want to compete or just become a publisher? It's a good question. I will return to Steam. A console that don't have exclusives is not for me. So, it's a problem. 007 is exclusive to Xbox. Is that not on Steam? Perfect Dark is a first-party game. It's going to PC. I think what Borneo, what he's talking about is the port for the N64. I didn't know that, streaming. I didn't know that. But it's not a console seller, is it? We're not back in the N64 days when this was actually a really big thing. Hey, stop jumping at me. Yeah. We're talking back in the good old GoldenEye days, man. The N64 split screen. Let's go. The selling point is being the best console available in what it offers the gamers. That's not enough. That's not enough. Delusions of grandeur. Exclusives are the USP. It's nothing else a console can do that's gonna get console sold. That is true. Exclusives are your unique selling point. If you're looking at Nintendo, you've got the Zelda games, you've got the Metroid games, you've got the Mario games, you've got the Mario Kart, whatever. If you're looking for that sort of gaming, you can only find that on Nintendo. If you're looking for God of War, The Last of Us, any, sad dad walking simulator as they call them, the only place you're going to find them generally is on PlayStation. If you're looking for Halo, Gears of War, or anything like that, You can go to PC, you can go to Xbox, you can go to your Steam Deck, you can go to your Asus ROG, you can go to your GeForce Now cloud system, you can go to your xCloud, you can go to your whatever the other cloud service is called. Do you see the problem here? That's the problem. If I want to play God of War Ragnarok, I can only go to PlayStation. If I want to play Mario Wonders, unless you're emulating it, you can only go to the Nintendo Switch. If I want to play Halo Infinite, I can go to 9 different places. No, because all you need to do is pay to hold games. You have a vastly better product that Xbox is. It makes no difference without locking games to just that product. Yeah, it needs to be locked. Xbox will die if they put even AA's on, especially PS. K to the GOAT. The only thing I'm thinking is when those games will go. Hi-Fi Rush hasn't been out for that long. Hi-Fi Rush hasn't been that long. Sea of Thieves has been around for a while. So maybe they're going to impose like a 1.5 year time restriction or a 2-year restriction. But at the end of the day, more games will be going third party if I'm guessing if they're not doing well on the Xbox platform. Doesn't matter about how long. Hey Josh, how's it going? I'm doing good, thanks. I'm doing good. Microsoft is a part of the Xbox ecosystem though, right? So PC sales makes Microsoft money, also brings in Xbox money. Well, yeah, I mean, every game that's sold on Steam brings them 70% of the revenue. Anything that sells on the Xbox store brings them 100%. Anything that sells on the console will bring them, if it's first party, gives them 100%. If it's a third party game that's coming onto the Xbox store, gives them 30%. Bonaya, yeah, they need timed exclusives. And timed exclusives, like the only system I think that can work is they can go, right, I'm going to use Alan Wake again as an example. Alan Wake launches 6 months exclusive to Xbox. You can only play it on Xbox. After 6 months, it goes to PC, to Steam, right? And then Steam has it for another 6 months, and that concludes the whole 1 year exclusivity for Xbox. After a year, it then gets released on PlayStation. But if anyone actually wants to play Alan Wake 2, like if I didn't have an Xbox and I was a PlayStation gamer, I love Alan Wake, by the way. That is one of my favorite games of all time. The first one is phenomenal, right? I hold it in one of the highest regards. I just absolutely love everything about that game. So do keep that in mind. If I was a PlayStation gamer and I had that experience with Alan Wake and the Series X was the only place I could play it, I would buy a Series X to play that game. Without a shadow of doubt. That would have sold the console to me. Even better, if they had like a limited edition Alan Wake console to commemorate with it, I would have bought the limited edition console as well. That's what they need to drive home. They need that exclusivity. And I think 6 months is just about fine before it goes to PC. And then PC gets it from 6 months to 12 months. And that gives Xbox that 6 month, that full 1 year. And that's enough of a period to get people who want to play that game onto the platform to play the game. But this day and date stuff, just, I mean, as far as the first party games go, they don't have a choice now because that's the promise they made, unless they want to go back on that promise as well. But can you imagine if they turned around and said, hey guys, listen, you know that promise we made with Game Pass where you'll get games day and date, all first party? Yeah, we're going to change that so you'll get it in 3 months' time. Those 44 million subs are going down. Everyone's switching from Game Pass Ultimate and just going for Xbox Core. Instantly. They will lose so many subscriptions. So they can't do that. So the only way they can tackle this now is by money hatting third-party exclusives. The problem is Microsoft, I don't think they have the business sense to do that. Microsoft probably knows how to sell consoles. They are just too invested in PC Game Pass right now. I actually don't think they know what they're doing right now. That's all I'm on, Xbox Core, mainly because it's cheaper and I'd rather just buy my games. And that's fair enough, Wayne. That is 100% fair enough. That's why it's there. Chaos, what did Xbox say when they finally broke their silence? That our concerns don't matter. Hi-Fi Rush, Sea of Thieves, and other games are going to be going over. They're going to speak to us in spring. They don't really care about the discourse that's going on right now. There's more to this, there's more that's going around that we don't see. It is purely, this decision that they've made is purely metrics driven, and who were concerned previously are now saying you shouldn't be as concerned as we are. But this one over here is basically the crux of it. Wait for springtime. Sarah Bond will say something. You guys will be fine. Your guess is as good as mine, Osman, on that part. What's funny is all these problems Xbox is facing is by their own doing, going day and date on PC and Game Pass. 100%. 100%. Bonaya, this is a point that I was going to get to. I was waiting for someone in chat to actually say something, right? And I'm happy you mentioned this. Because Phil is just the head of the overall thing now, right? Xbox gaming division. But in terms of the Xbox, the person running Xbox, it's no longer Phil, it's Sarah Bond. And it really feels like she is going to take the brunt of this. It really feels like she's being used as a scapegoat, put in front of the masses for the wolves to tear apart. Arthur, I think so, yeah. I think so, yeah. And as nasty as that sounds, we've seen it before in multiple different companies. I think that's exactly what's happening. These are, what me and my friends think. And, it doesn't paint a nice picture. It's a dog-eat-dog world out there. If that happens, a lot of people going to jump ship. You think so, Derwin, but they won't. They won't. Because the average person just doesn't care. Again, you're looking at the 5% or maybe 2% of gamers that are on Twitter. In fact, I'd probably say that the people that actually care, that are on social media, ramaging about this, console warring and doing everything, it's probably less than 1%. The people that go over to IGN and stuff, maybe about 2%, and they'll just read the article and move on. They don't care. The average person doesn't care if Sarah Bond is in charge. The average person doesn't care if Phil Spencer's in charge. All they care about is, am I getting my game on Game Pass day and date if I'm paying that subscription? Yes. They couldn't give two whatsits if the game is going to PlayStation, Switch, PC, or wherever. They just don't care. The average person does not care. The only ones that care are the hardcore gamers, and they are such a small minority. They are such a small minority. Sarah Bond is now the vice president of Xbox now, so it's up to her what she says. Yeah, I agree. When is spring? It's in 2 months. It's expected that she'll come out in 6 weeks' time, which again coincides with what I've been told. I was told 6 weeks. This spring is in 2 months, so the timing matches. But I don't think she has that long now. This information shouldn't have been leaked. This information didn't need to be known. Just before April, husband. I think it's going to happen just before the fiscal year. I own an Xbox, and it'll be the last generation I invest in. Sony or a trash toxic company. They're not exactly doing wonders at the moment. But hey, Death Stranding 2 looked like a good movie. And we all saw Stellar Arse Cheeks, so late March. We're already in February, so I would say mid-March is when we're going to see it. It does bring a lot of uncertainty for platform stability. It is interesting on the very least. Last point, big free platforms. Well, the thing is, like, at no point does Phil not speak with Sony or Nintendo. These three are constantly talking, right? They're in conversations. They're having these discussions. To think that there's no, no conversations happening is ludicrous. They are always discussing. They are always in conversation. There might not be good conversations. I mean, just look at the Genshin Impact community right now. They're blowing up in the worst toxic way possible. You think the console warring here is bad? Just go spend 5 minutes in the Genshin Impact community. That's a whole new case of shitness happening. So much for their trustworthiness and promises to us Xbox console fans. I think that's the problem, Drift. That's the problem. That's the problem. And I think a lot of people are going to be disappointed with that. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Xbox works with PC. Amazing. It does. I mean, you can even mod Starfield on the Game Pass version of Starfield, for those of you that don't know. You can mod it. You've been able to mod it since day one. That's how I play it. What I don't understand is why Hi-Fi Rush, like it all leads, like if this leads to Microsoft acquiring Take-Two or Nintendo, the sacrifice will be worth it. Steven? Okay. This is my view on this, right? This is my thoughts on this. It's not to acquire Take-Two because they're a big company, and it's not to acquire Nintendo. Microsoft made a promise to the FTC. They made a promise to Jacqueline, during the FTC trial, that games will be going over to other platforms on a game-by-game basis. We 100% know, and I want all of you just to just take what I'm saying in for a second. So, if you're listening, please do listen. He made a promise to them that a game-by-game basis, these games are going to go, on other platforms. So we've known that this is going to happen. It's inevitable. Microsoft also said, Phil Spencer also said publicly, we've heard him multiple times, we are not done buying. We are not done by a long shot. We are still in the market for acquisitions. If they go right now to buy another company, they will be blocked instantly, and they will have no recourse to pushing that transaction through. The FTC will be on them quicker than you can say knickknacks, right? They will be on them quicker than a hooker can pull her knickers down. Now, if Microsoft can show, hey, look, we put Sea of Thieves on PlayStation, we put Hi-Fi Rush, a critically acclaimed game, on PlayStation and Switch, we kept our promise by not foreclosing games, by putting games as we promised on a game-by-game basis, and we promise that when we complete and close this deal with Sega, for example, we will do the same. The FTC won't have an argument. This is what I believe is happening. This is the reason why this is happening. This is the reason why this is happening, in my opinion. Wise man once say, you love me? Why is that? You agree with me, wise man? Republicans aren't like Democrats when it comes to the type of stuff they'll let time acquire. Maybe. But I think this is it. I think this is the big problem. if they don't show that they are putting games on other platforms, and the problem is, and this is the biggest problem, right? This is the absolute, this is the crux of it. They can't come out and publicly say, listen, folks, if we want the FTC to allow us to buy Sega, we need to give them some games to sugarcoat it so we can show them when they take us to court again that we are playing ball. They cannot say that. Under any circumstance, in no world can they come out and say that. Hey, Umbrella, how's it going? It's understandable with Bethesda and ABK games. However, Sea of Thieves, I think Sea of Thieves is the prime example. I mean, Sea of Thieves has no microtransactions. It has just its player base, and that's it. I think that's like a perfect. One. Streaming channel, yeah. I mean, I tell the FCC to stop Sony from permanently blocking third-party games before you ask us to give PlayStation anything. Delusions of grandeur. Why isn't Xbox doing that? What Sony is doing is contractually fine. The regulators can't get involved. They are going to a company and saying, hey, I'm going to give you some money for this game. I want you to put that game on my platform only. Guess what? Microsoft can do that too. They can go to Remedy Games. They can go to Square Enix. They can go to Capcom. They can go to Sega. They can go to any gaming company they want and say, hey, buddy, I've got this little paper here called a checkbook. How much do you want for that game? And they say, well, does this number suit you? No, I want it a bit higher. Does this number suit you? Done deal. Finished. Game over. Done. That game is exclusive to Xbox, not going to PlayStation. They can do this, but they won't. And there is nothing the regulators can do to prevent this. Microsoft can go to every company they want to. They can pretty much go to Sega and say, I want all Yakuza games exclusive to PlayStation. I mean, exclusive to Xbox. I'm giving you this much money. Make it happen. And if Sega see that number and say, you know what? This covers our potential sales and then some, those games are becoming exclusive to Xbox. Done. You think Sega gives a shit about PlayStation or Xbox or Nintendo? No. They care about money. They care about making that green. And as long as they're making money and they're making enough money, they'll make it console exclusive. That's what it all comes down to. But outbidding Sony would be too expensive for third-party exclusive. Twisted, yes. But we're not talking about your run-of-the-mill company here. Have you heard of the term loss leader? The term loss leader essentially means where, you know, you invest heavily in something, you are going to lose, but in return you're going to be making more console sales, which will then lead to more sales in the future. So that you will lose up front, but you're losing now to make more in the future. And that is what they'll get. If they turned around and said, right, the next Sonic game exclusive to Xbox, the next Monster Hunter game exclusive to Xbox, the next Silent Hill game exclusive to Xbox, the next Devil May Cry game exclusive to Xbox. Right? If they started getting these titles exclusive, timed exclusive to Xbox for a year, Yakuza games exclusive for a year, that will shift consoles. It will. Without a shadow of doubt. And guess what? There isn't a single regulator out there in this planet that can actually do something about it, because they are going by the confines of the competition law. They are going to these people and saying, hey, we're competing. They bid this much money. We've offered more. That's competition. So why aren't they doing it? Malcolm, look at it this way. Let's say, for example, if you released it to every platform out there, you sold 5 million copies, right? Now I'm going to do some maths for you. Yep, let me get the calculator up because it is late and my brain isn't working. But let's say you've got 5 million copies and each copy of that game is $60, right? I'm going to use dollars here. So we're looking 300 million is what they are projecting to make for sales on this game in its lifetime. I'm telling you, I will give you 350 million for 1 year's exclusivity. And then you can release it after a year on PlayStation. Or I'm going to give you 200 million for 1 year's exclusivity. And then you can release it on PlayStation. So you're already making in 1 year the majority of the money that you probably would be making in the lifetime of the game. And, you know, that's asking, I'm already asking a lot here for some games making 5 million sales. Final Fantasy 16 only made 3 million, right? Maybe 3.5 million. So that's even less than this. So you just offer them a sum that will cover them. And even if you have that smaller market, the whole purpose of that is, hey, if you want to play Final Fantasy 17, this is the place to be. You release your limited edition Xbox consoles, everything, and people will buy that Xbox console because Final Fantasy is a console seller. Period. It is. It is a console seller. And so people will buy the Xbox platform to play that game because they have to play Final Fantasy when it comes out. Oh, what? Oh, I know why it went out. Hotkey. Xbox took his webcam down. But do you see where I'm coming from now? Like that's just a... Make the DLC or expansions exclusive, maybe cosmetics and things that drive the hardcore peeps over. Yeah, anything. Anything would do. Anything would do to make it stand out. But they need those exclusive deals. People bought Hogwarts Legacy on PlayStation because it had an exclusive mission. That was enough to, you know, tip people to buy the other one. But in the end, you know, this is where we are right now. And at the end of the day, that's it. I agree 100% with what you were saying. Plague Tale, Alan Wake 2, Persona 3 Reload. I mean, why wasn't Persona 3 just made as an exclusive? Make that an exclusive. Well, I don't personally. I don't think Persona 3 Reload would have shifted consoles, so that's a bad one. That's a good thing it's not exclusive. Xbox should just throw everything at the games. No way people bought a PlayStation for a mission on Hogwarts. I know a good number of people who decided to skip the PC version of Hogwarts Legacy and bought the PlayStation 5 version of Hogwarts Legacy just because of that one mission. They do that. I know people that bought Call of Duty on PlayStation because they only dabble in the multiplayer. You know, they bought it mainly for the story mode, but they bought the PlayStation version because of that extra mode that it had, because it has more value. Some people just go on the notion, if they've got both consoles, why am I paying more for less? It's the same price, but the Xbox version has less content than the PlayStation version. So why am I paying more for less? I might as well pay more. I might as well pay the same for more. Last, I've personally bought a console for one game. Personally, I've done that. And I'm sure there are many people, I guess you can say, dumb enough like me. Is it true I bought a PS4 for Destiny? It is true. I bought PS4 for Destiny exclusive missions, even though I primarily played on Xbox with friends. I hated that Destiny ABK did that. There you go. There you go. Simple as that. Simple as that. People will buy a version because it has more content. It's the complete content. Who bought the PS5 for the Hogwarts mission? There you go. It happens, dude. It happens a lot more than you think. This is why I'm saying these little... dude, I know people that bought the PlayStation version of Call of Duty for the exclusive operators that don't do fuck all. The operators, which are basically just a skin, and they bought that version because PlayStation had exclusive skins for a skin, and they bought that version. I wonder if this works. Does it work? Yeah, it works. This is the facts. If it has more content in it, people will buy it on that platform. Exactly, Stephen. Account Lodge, I love the stream. Is it going to become a real unlike stream? Or is the lounge? Is this the lounge stream? Ah, who knows? Who knows? K to the goat, one context, one word. Twist the narrative, negative or loss. Might have caved and got a PS5, even though I'm fully against Sony's hardware. They made the same mistake X did. They let me play the exclusives on PC and through streaming. The problem is though, Susano, when are you gonna get The Last of Us Part 2? Is that even available on PC now? I don't actually know if Part 2 is available. I don't think it is. Is it available? But Ragnarok isn't. Gran Turismo isn't. Is it Bloodborne? The first Demon Souls isn't. There's loads of games that aren't. And the thing with, and the difference with PlayStation and Xbox is, with Xbox, you know 100% those games are coming to PC. With PlayStation, you don't. So the incentive to go and get a PlayStation 5, if you like those games, is still there. With the Xbox, it's not there. If you have a powerful PC, there is no incentive. How do games still have ultra? How do games still not have ultra wide support? Is crazy. You want the simple answer to that, Bonaya? Because I can give you one. I work in QA, so I can tell you why. Companies are tight, they're cheap, and they don't want to invest in hardware. And so what they will do is they will test the game on a standard 16:9 resolution. Once it's done, then they will outsource it once the game is available or just before it's available to other studios or other companies that do specialize in ultra wide and get them to test it. But until the game really comes out, they can't do that because they don't want anything leaking. That sounds like a really, really dumb thing, but that's a reason. At a personal level, the argument doesn't work. Might work for the larger market still. Xbox console only players will abandon Xbox even if they have timed. The problem is Xbox always say stuff like timed exclusives, so people will just wait. K to the goat. If it's a year, people won't wait. If it's 2 months, people will wait. But if it's a year, people won't wait. If you want to play that game, you'll play it now. They'll invest and get it. It really depends on the duration. They will not wait. But GTA 6 isn't on anything. And do you think that PC players aren't going to be getting a PS5 or a Series X to play GTA 6? Do you honestly think that's going to happen? They'll migrate to PC once it's available on PC because the role-playing scene on there is going to be mammoth-sized, right? But day one, you think they're not going to be playing it? Of course they are. Until the Final Fantasy 7-year exclusivity didn't happen. Not everyone's as resilient. K to the goat. I work Rockstar North. Not long now, bud. I am looking forward to it. But you know, it's a thing. It's a thing. Good to see we have a Rockstar developer in the house. I played Remake on PC. I wasn't waiting. I played Remake straight on thing. And Remake on PC launched bad, didn't it? GTA 6 will make big money for Sony. It'll make big money for everyone. GTA 6 is literally the most anticipated and looked forward to game of all time. I don't think there's going to be a bigger game. Xbox is pushing subscriptions, Sony is pushing crap hardware, and Nintendo is pushing remakes and remasters from the 90s to 2000s. If the industry doesn't crash, it's an absolute miracle. But you know what? The crap hardware and the remakes and remasters are still making a lot of money. Yes, they are. It's like your brother said, and most do. Yep. Hey, where's I Bully Midnight Club and Warriors remake? Not in a decade at least, Bully 2. Oh, there you go. Some confirmation. You're not getting it for another 10 years. Does that mean it's in development, Renowned? Or is that too much information? All right, I'm a systems engineer. Have faith. Man, it must be a nightmare maintaining all of those servers, Renowned. Our systems engineer pretty much maintains everything we do on a server side basis. Especially when stuff goes down, he goes mental. If Microsoft made Elder Scrolls exclusive, no PC, everyone gonna buy an Xbox. 100% born there. See, this is the sort of thing. This is what I'm saying. This is what they need. This is what they need to do. This is where Microsoft need to go. But the question is, will they? But I think Microsoft has already made the. I think that what they're hoping is that in 10, 15 years, when that Call of Duty thing disappears, the contract, and the Ubisoft contract disappears in 15 years, they're going to basically turn around and say, right, all of ABK, all of ZeniMax, and anyone else that they're buying, all of that, if you want to play it, because I think by that point, consoles will be so diminished in terms of just what they are. Everything by that point is going to be pushing to the cloud, because even GeForce Now right now gives me perfect latency. In 15 years, it's going to be, non-existent at all. So, but I'm expecting in 15 years, cloud is going to be extremely dominant. And I think that's what Microsoft is hoping for. They're hoping right now to build that war chest, build that back catalog, get those publishers under its belt, and in 15 years, they're going to turn around and tell everyone to piss off. If you want to play these games, you need to be on Xbox Game Pass and play it through our new cloud platform service. And this is the only place you can play that. And guess what? By that point, the FTC, the CMA, the regulators, they can't do nothing to them. They won't be able to do jack squat. You do tools? Nice. That is why they were on their ass, Malcolm. That is it. Because Microsoft could do a huge power play, a huge one, right? At the time, this was the thing. With Activision Blizzard and ZeniMax and Microsoft Game Studios, they would dominate the cloud market. They would be the go-to place. They would control whatever, even if it was a nascent growing industry, as they kept using these big words. The fact is, if you wanted to have the best cloud gaming options, you would go to xCloud. And this is what they didn't want, because you'd essentially be destroying all competition. But in 15 years, Ubisoft will no longer have that contract to hold the games to itself. It expires in 15 years. in 10 years, COD will lose parity with PlayStation. So even if the game, I mean, the game will continue to come to PlayStation because Phil made that promise. It's never coming off PlayStation. But Xbox at that point can say, hey, on Xbox, we're getting this map pack 2 months in advance. We're getting these operators that they can't have. We're getting these extra cosmetics that they can't have. That will be enough to push people away from PlayStation and over to Xbox. I mean, I game on cloud a lot. Like a lot. If I have an option where I can use my GeForce Now, I will use GeForce Now over my PC. I get the same latency. I mean, I streamed when Alan Wake 2 came out, the whole game through GeForce Now and had zero problems. Most people didn't even realize I was on GeForce Now until that one time where GeForce crashed. I think it gets thought about in a faulty manner because people think it's just about games and it's not. We want extra content. Red Dead, I've made content in my own time and they haven't added it. It only needed mass tests. But you also need like I mean, QA is in its own field, right? I mean, I get that, but first you need to go and, you know, there's the whole test cases, the test plans, then you've got the walkthroughs, then you've actually got the testing scenarios, and then you've got the man hours to actually go into actually QAing each one. Then you've got the destructive testing, you've got the standards testing. You know what I'm talking about, Renowned. As someone that's, you know, you should know what I'm talking about. Cloud is already dominating. Hey, Ubisoft dev. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. No, cloud gaming won't dominate. It's only available in selected countries for now. Force, for now. In 15 years, technology is already advancing at such an advanced rate, it's going to be all over the place. It's going to be everywhere. It's going to be global. 15 years is a long time. They have 15 years to make sure this plan of theirs works. And in that 15 years, they are going to continue to absorb publishers. And once that 15 years is up, they are going to take it all back, rein it in, and say, right, if you want to play these games, give me the money. I worked Traveler's Tales on Lego Marvel superheroes, then went north on Red Dead Redemption 2 since 2004. I wanted to go indie and retire soon. In 6 years, go grey. Dude, the games industry is not a joke to work in. It is. When I worked in the industry, it was arguably the most stressful time of my life. It is such a frantic and hectic time, especially when you get close to go live and you start submitting. Like when I was at Sega, when we were submitting our codes to Sony or Microsoft, and we were testing, I think that night we must have tested 9 builds that were constantly being shipped from developers to make sure we actually met the we could go gold. It's really, really stressful. 24-hour shifts are a thing. People still don't think I'm telling the truth, but 24-hour shifts are a real thing. It is, but it's ready to test, player housing, etc. But all code is in. Hey, I wouldn't mind giving it a once over, Renowned. Get that exclusive content. Especially in developing countries, places like Brazil. I mean, that's in places like Brazil, it's going to be, cloud is like going to be pushed more because they can't afford to buy the consoles. So for places like that, it's even better. Visions is multiplayer and Aura isn't console. That's correct. By the way, Squad has less players on Steam than Sea of Thieves. That game is getting battered right now. It's unfortunate. That it is unfortunate, and it'll probably lead to job losses as well, which is probably the biggest disappointment of that. 24-hour shifts, 30-hour shifts. I could vouch for that. Yep. I remember like on one of the projects that I was working on, I was a team lead, and I actually worked for I think like 34 days without a day off. And on the final night when we was going live, I started work at 7 a.m. in the morning, and I ended up finishing, I think it was the following day around 8 or 9 a.m., and then had to drive home as well. That was interesting. That was interesting. But, 34 days without a single day off. I mean, it's rough. The games industry is rough. So I always have mass respect for anyone that's stuck to that industry, because it's rough. But it's a fantastic place to work. If the environment is good and the people you're working with are great, it kind of balances itself out. Even if it is tiring, just make sure you don't really have a social life, because if you do, it goes out the window. Bornaya, put it this way. When I was working, we had 3-month contracts. They wouldn't employ you first time. I think it's pretty much still the same now anyway. Now they do 0-hour contracts, which is even worse. But back then it was like 3-month contracts. If you didn't turn up to those Saturday and Sundays, you pretty much knew that you wasn't going to get your contract renewed. You just push on. Exactly, Renowned. Exactly. It's just one of those things you just keep on doing. But you know what? Fun fact, I did get was it interactive software? Who are the ones that make Football Manager? What's the development studio that makes Football Manager? I can't remember. Is it interactive something? A lot of youngsters coming into this business don't have any clue what that thing sounds for. Does anyone remember what they're called? Interactive something? Yeah, it's part of Sega, but I can't remember their name. But anyway, I was having a really horrible time QAing that game. Sports Interactive, that's the one. As you can tell, I was having a horrible time QAing that game. That game is all stats, figures, and you got to find all sorts of stuff, right? Some of the stuff that I was finding was ridiculous. You'd have to go granular. Like, for example, Man United would have 15 shots on goal, and then you look at Wayne Rooney, and he'd have 12 shots on goal. 5 of them were with his right foot. 20 were with his left foot. How does that count? You had to go granular to that level. It was a nightmare. But testing that for Go Live was fun. It's not that bad for us. We just expect to pull our weight for all the team. Yeah, the testing floor was nasty. But good fun. Yes, technology moves fast. Once cloud gaming dominates, Xbox will knock down every developer studio door and say, yo, I'm buying you. No, they're doing that now in preparation for that. If they do that too late, then that's the problem they have. Someone just came in and said something that... Or did they get removed? Xbox a dead platform, I think they said. It's not dead. But it is going to... How will a 3080 run Starfield? My 3090 Ti runs it, if that's any constellation. But hey, if you want to run it on GeForce Now, you can run it with a 4080. By the way, Chaos, Steam page for Dragon's Dogma 2 confirms 30 FPS, whether that screenshot was true or not. Really? Oh, damn. That's the first thing that's getting modded, then, that's for sure. Those said because of team loyalty, to peer pressure, and more, why music dominates as do most other products once they enter the space. It's easier, in my opinion, to understand that market than most. It's centuries old. Yeah. More reason to leave console gaming? I mean, it's 30 FPS on PC. Come back. Come back to console gaming. PC is going backwards. Oh, that's funny. Yes, born higher. 30 FPS in 2024. Oh. I thought it was a joke, but oh man. At least we have monsters save us. Exactly, Bono. Hey, Michael, how's it going? Time to go console. Hey, hey, buddy, we've just gone full circle with Bonaya. Bonaya's gone full circle. Oh, that's amazing. Starfield mods make the. Hey, they do. Someone posted a Starfield video with mods on my stream. I'm gonna check that out after this stream because apparently they're good. Yeah, girls, Steam specs shows locked 32 FPS. That's crazy. If Xbox games are on PlayStation and don't have exclusives, there is no reason to buy. Not all games are going, Bob's Adventure. Not all games. They did say, they have said that other games are going, but it looks like it's only going to be the AA games or the ones below it. Hi-Fi Rush is not a AAA game. This Hi-Fi Rush controversy is Xbox tax at its finest. When Sony put MLB The Show 21 on Xbox for the first time, no one complained. Travis, that was because MLB forced Sony. Sony would have lost their license. They didn't have a choice. Sony fought to have it not on there, but at the end of the day, Sony had the option of losing the MLB license, which would have crippled their game entirely and made them lose a metric ton of money, or they could agree to port it over to Xbox. That was the smart business sense to do that. So that's why we have MLB. I appreciate that, Ubisoft dev. I appreciate that. And also, if you have been, if you did work on the new Prince of Persia, great stuff, man. That game was amazing. The new Prince of Persia is absolutely phenomenal. It's not a AAA game, but man, it has some amazing cinematic AAA cutscenes and visuals in combat. It does, but it's not a console seller. Sony could have said no. They literally got threatened. No, they could have said no. They could not have said no. So they had no choice with that. I still can't believe that 30 FPS on PC. Yeah, that's crazy. I wonder if people will be okay with 720p in the future. Who knows? Who knows? But yeah, I mean, so far this year, in terms of games, I think. By the way, chat, if you haven't played Prince of Persia, definitely check it out. I think it's like £40 in the UK. I think you can get it for like £30 now. I think it's got a real chance to be nominated for Game of the Year. It's really, really good. So it's one that I do recommend. Tell that Ubisoft dev give black to hairstyles. You know what the manga Nandok. I'll always buy an Xbox no matter what. I mean, as long as there's an Xbox console, I'll pick one up. I mean, being in the industry that I'm in, trying to grow my YouTube channel, develop it, and trying to kind of be an omni gamer. I'm always going to be an omni gamer. So at the start of every generation, I generally do pick up every console. It's the refreshes that I'm not always sold on. How is Sony forced to accept a contract? It's not the contract, it's the license. They would have lost the license. Why would they lock a game to 30 FPS on PC first time? I've seen it. I wonder if that's 30 FPS with FSR or DLSS. Imagine having a phone night. It feels like $40 to seems to be the price tag that screams your game has the right budget to sell 2 million copies and still make a profit. Yeah. The price point for it was good. The price point for it was good. And dog, basically, Hi-Fi Rush and Sea of Thieves have pretty much been, to quote Xbox's strategy regarding Hi-Fi Rush, Sea of Thieves, and other games going multi-platform, is pretty much now in discussion, and they will be announcing everything before springtime. There was a lot of stuff that we went through earlier on why this decision is being made. A lot of stuff that I can corroborate as true because I've been told previously, but I obviously kept a tight lip about it because I don't want to break people's, if someone's telling me stuff, because I speak to people in the industry all the time. So some of the stuff that came out, now that it's actually been public, I'm free to talk about it without me saying anything else and without breaking other people's trust. So there's a lot here that I've known about for about 2 months. But Sarah Bond saying that Sarah Bond coming out in springtime to talk about it, before the April fiscal year. So probably in about 4, 5, 6 weeks, I think we'll probably hear something sooner. Minxie just ended. Nice. How's it going, Devastator? Jean-Marc, how's it going? I'm not going to reveal my sources. And then no matter how, I see it all the time on Twitter where people say, well, reveal your source and we'll believe you. Yeah. So you want me to get someone fired just for your own personal pleasure? Yeah, that ain't happening. I'll get you fired, though, if you want to tell me something and I'll go and report it. That's fine. Very little. Nothing substantial. Borneo. Nothing that I can talk about anyway. I feel for Sarah Bond. We've had some nice chats, me and her. Yeah, she's been hung out to dry. This will be her first test, really. It's a powerful test. It's a big test. Renowned, what don't you get? Maybe the PC, I already have one, but I've been supporting Xbox because I grow up with it. Too bad. Not so. I would wait and see what they're gonna say. Magicians never reveal their sources. Oh, I never reveal. I would never get anyone in trouble, Renowned. I would never reveal it. Like I said, I wasn't going to even talk about this. But when I saw this post, I know that a lot of it is true because of what I've been hearing. But now it's public, I can talk about it. But I've known about a lot of this for about 6 weeks, 8 weeks, maybe a little longer, give or take. But, they told me in confidence that I'm not going to come out and talk about it. I'm not going to make a video about it just to get a few clicks and lose friendships or just lose people that I value as friends, from the industry. But now that it's public, it's there for everyone to see. I can talk about it. Why Phil not announce? Phil isn't the president of Xbox anymore. It's Sarah. I still can't believe 30 FPS. on PC. Like, let's say, imagine 49 with PC. It's a shame. Xbox fan definitely deserve better. They should reimburse me if this news is true or for my well, look at it this way, right? No matter which way you look at it, no matter how you look at it, if you own an Xbox, you are still going, nothing really changes for you. You are still going to get, through your Game Pass subscription, day and date games. Nothing really changes for you. You know, to quote Paris's state, what changes for you personally? Are you still gonna get Halo Infinite forever, if that's what it's called? Don't quote me. I'm not revealing anything. But if that is what it's called, if you're getting it day one on your subscription service, that's always going to be there. What's changing? If you get Hellblade 3, what's changing? Not confirming it's existing. I need to be careful now with what I say. But you see the point I'm making. Nothing for you as a consumer changes. The only time it will change is if those third-party games stop coming to your console. Then it will change. But until that happens, for 10 or I think it's $12.99, you are still getting the service that you are currently paying for right now with zero change to the structure. He's now at the top of it. His job, where his role was, that's been replaced by Sarah Bond, and now he's gone above Sarah Bond. I have over 200k gamer score. I had the original Xbox. I need my money back. So, easy. Well, bro, nobody gaff about Game Pass, but you get day one exclusives. It's no longer exclusive you get, but you're still saving money. Yes. And at the end of the day, you don't know if it's with, you know, like I said, the tentpole games will, I'm 99% sure, will still be remaining exclusive to thing. For now, at least, anyway. Xbox. Kelsange, what was the news from Microsoft? This is basically what we're discussing. That Hi-Fi Rush, Sea of Thieves, and other games are going to go multi-platform. And there'll be an official strategy announcement before spring. Phil is CEO of Microsoft Gaming. Correct. Mugiwara. I'm definitely not getting the future Xbox if this is true. I mean, well, you know, it is true, but you'll find out officially in due course. This is not fake. But Elijah, I'm more than happy for you to think it's fake. But again, Nintendo and Sony will not do the same. 100% they won't do the same. Without a shadow of doubt. Not now, anyway. Not yet. Sony is already edging towards it. They've already started their journey to the cloud and releasing games on PC. So, you know, give them another generation for the console, and they'll be where Microsoft is. Because the console market just isn't growing as rapidly as it used to anymore. Streaming channel, I'm pretty much the same. Why does it matter? Two things. Number one, it diminishes your market share if you're not increasing, you know, if you're putting your games on another platform, there's no reason to pick up an Xbox. Third-party devs, just if your market share, you know, minimizes to a certain degree, there'll be no reason for third-party companies to release games on your platform, and all you're going to get is first-party. That's the danger. So what happened? Travis, what happens if FIFA Madden doesn't come to Xbox? We've already had a precedent of this happening in the past. What happens if EA turns around and says, right, our games just your market isn't big enough. We're not going to release it on your platform. We've seen what happens when they've done this in the past. What's going to happen? Because back in the Dreamcast day, EA gave Sega the middle finger and didn't release a single game on the Dreamcast. And that was a huge problem for Sega. Huge. It was one of the reasons why the Dreamcast died. If publishers don't see a profit there, they're not going to release games on that platform. And if the market share is too small, this isn't petty console warring. Those people that have an Xbox won't be getting games. That's got nothing to do with console warring. I don't think I've console warred once in this whole... Okay, whatever it's called now. You know what I mean. But I don't think I've console warred once in this whole stream. Even though it was supposed to be an hour stream that I wanted to do. It's gone for 2.5 hours. And goal is to make it back with Sony and Nintendo. It could very well be Heatwave. But they won't be getting they won't be getting like the AAA games. Not for now anyway. Right now they're going to be experimenting with AA games. WG Productions, thank you for the renewed membership. Same to Justin Mills as well. How much is it? $40.90 again? Very expensive. Like 1.2, 1.3K. And Travis, what did that do for them? Nothing. Don't get a 4090. I mean, 4090 means 30 FPS gaming now, boys. I can't believe that. 30 FPS gaming at 4090. What has the world come to? And the reason I'm almost sure this is fake is because they just did a showcase for Xbox and PlayStation wasn't getting a single game announced. But like I said, those games were never on the card, on the table. K to the GOAT. Those games were never on the card. The first few games that are going are the smaller games that are not shifting consoles. Indiana Jones will shift consoles. Hellblade 2 will potentially shift consoles. I don't think it... I mean, to me, it's a great game. But it doesn't have that kind of name out there where people are going to go, oh my God, Hellblade. Yes, I have to buy that. It doesn't have like the Metal Gear name or a, even though Metal Gear is trash now in terms of its reputation after Revengeance, whatever it was called. It was such a bad game. Konami really hurt that brand. But you get the point I'm making. Indiana Jones is a big, big franchise that can shift consoles. Avowed, maybe. Hellblade, maybe. But Indiana Jones, for me, if you're looking at those three, are the only ones that they announced that will shift consoles. But those three there won't be going to PlayStation. Not now or anytime soon. They're too big. Even though Hellblade is a bit on the iffy side because it's a AA and they're looking at AA, I just don't see Hellblade being there. Aura isn't on Xbox, that's why I didn't mention it. Hellblade and Avowed won't be on PlayStation. Because they still have the potential to shift consoles. Hi-Fi Rush is not going to shift the console. So I think that's going to be the actual metric. Does this game have the potential to shift the console? Yes, then it will stay. No, then it will go and they'll just make more money on it. How do you know indie won't shift consoles? There are a lot of people that are excited for indie. Hell, my friend is buying an Xbox because he wants Indiana Jones. Red 5 Leader, are you in this chat by any chance? If you are, say something. Check Discord. Is that a requirement? No way. Frame rate might drop in graphics intensive scenes from 30 FPS. But these are looking at graphics cards of 2080 Ti and 2080 Super RX. That's what they're basing it on. So it might still hit above 30. There's a chance. There's a chance. But they are aiming for 4K 30. That is correct. That's crazy. So let me just put this up on screen. So as you can see here, the recommended over here it says additional notes, estimated performance 2160, which is 4K, interlaced. Not even, wow, interlaced. Holy what are we talking? Dude, that's interlaced. That's not even progressive. Holy shit. So you're not even actually getting a 4K resolution, you're getting it at intervals. So we're going back to PAL days, boys. 30 FPS, frame rate might drop in graphics intensive scenes. NVIDIA GeForce RTX 2080 Ti. That's what they're expecting with the 2080 series graphics cards. This is also an i7, so it is possible if you're running an i9, you know, or a 3080, 3090 Ti, 4080 or 4090, you might, you might actually hit that 60 FPS. Barely anyone. I mean, I use a 2K monitor. Hey, Luke Dubell, thank you for subscribing. You look like you played the new Justice League game. I haven't. Why do I look like I played the new Justice League game? What makes you? Why does that make me think? I don't even know how that even works. It's a heat issue, by the way. My PC is so cold it cools down my whole room and makes it feel like a freezer. Force One, yes. But Phil also said case by case basis that they will be going to other games as well, other platforms. I wish mine cooled the room. I have to run an air conditioning unit all the time. Yeah, my PC is freezing cold. Like even when I'm gaming, I barely hit 40 degrees. He still hasn't sunk in. Chaos, they are saying because of the Nuvo. I mean, that's definitely believable. But FPS gaming, we're now in the future now. The circuits are cold, but the exhaust may be a Mods get to work. Well, chat, I think see in the UK it's already cool country, but to warm, just play Final Fantasy 16 in your PS5 and stick corner of the room. Cheap energy prices. Oh, that game is really unoptimized. The frame rate on that game is so bad. It's so bad. But chat, I am going to call it there. It is past midnight. I actually wanted to just jump on and talk about this for an hour. We've been almost 3 hours. So I appreciate every single one last picture. Go on. I appreciate all of you for being here. Let's check out this one last picture that he sent and see what it's about. What is he doing? What is he doing? What is he doing? Okay, let's see it. Okay. Follow the Nouveau Games to see more reviews like these. Dragon's Dogma, White Day, Suicide Squad. Not recommended, not recommended, not recommended, not recommended. Wow, Visions of Mana is using the Nouveau. Well, it's at least a good thing it's coming to Xbox. If I get any more information about this, I will I'll let you guys know. But thanks so much for hanging out tonight. It's been amazing. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the just spending time and having a peaceful discussion, man. It's been awesome, and yeah, we'll see soon what's gonna come from this. But it's definitely interesting to see where Xbox is going, where their strategy is going. I can clearly see what they're aiming for. I can clearly see the direction they're going. But naturally, they can't come out and publicly say exactly what they're doing because they still want to buy. If they had no intention to buy any other publisher out there, they would be saying exactly what they're doing. But because they are looking to buy publishers, and they will buy more publishers, that is why some of this is happening. So at least take that with, some solace that your subscription, your service is going to get more valuable in the future. Well, everyone, that's it. Thanks so much for hanging out. I will see you in the next one. As always, have a good night and remain legend. Cold Chaos, turn on your PS5. It will definitely warm you up. Chaos, we will definitely see delusions. Ponies. We will. See you on next stream, folks. Thanks for hanging out.